and welcome to Beginning Mindfulness Meditation. I am Laura Mancuso, Spiritual Life Director at Vista Del Monte Retirement Community. This particular video will answer questions that I hear often from people who are just beginning meditation. This is not a practicing meditation video. This is more an explanation of how to get started. If you'd like to practice meditation, look for other videos on this channel with the word practice in the title. Now, while there are dozens of different forms of meditation that have been developed over literally thousands of years, today we're going to focus on mindfulness meditation. And why have I chosen that? Well, it's very simple to explain. It's simple to get started. The benefits have been proven through research. If you're interested in the research around mindfulness meditation, I would suggest you look for material from the Center for Mindfulness at the University of Massachusetts Medical Center or the Mindfulness Awareness Research Center at the University of California, Los Angeles. Mindfulness meditation has been shown to have benefits even as little as 12 minutes a day for 8 weeks. People have found a decrease in physical pain, in anxiety, or depression. And, who of us couldn't benefit from a little bit less anxiety, depression, and pain in our life? I think probably everyone could use that. So this is one of the reasons that I suggest mindfulness meditation. Now, most people meditate because they feel that it makes their life better, not because of some research study. And perhaps a family member or friend or a doctor even has recommended that you start meditation. So that's what this video is intended to describe. How to begin. The kinds of questions I usually get are, where should I meditate? How should I sit? What do I do with my hands, my eyes? How long do I need to meditate for? Things like that. So let me run through some basics. First of all, where to meditate. Just look for a place where you can sit comfortably. It is possible to lay down. Many people find they fall asleep if they lay down much more readily than if they're seated. So I would recommend being seated. Just a place that's relatively quiet. You do not need absolute quiet. You can work with whatever sounds are happening in your environment as part of your meditation, but it's good, not to have like a jackhammer happening outside your window or a TV within earshot. Try to make it generally a quiet place. That will be supportive of your meditation practice. How to sit, really just in a comfortable way. Some people find if they get too comfortable, they fall asleep. So you might want to support yourself away from the back of the chair if that's something that is physically comfortable for you, or just upright, kind of with your spine straight up all the way through the top of your head as much as possible. And I typically recommend that people just let their palms rest in their lap. You don't need to sit cross-legged on the floor with your hands in a certain position or mudra, as we call it. Many of us find as we age, our knees are really not that amenable to being folded that way, and it can be hard to get up from on the floor. If you're able to meditate on the ground or with a cushion on the ground, that's fabulous, but it's not necessary. Just any simple chair will do. And what you're going to be doing with your mind will be explained in the other practice videos, but in brief, what you're doing is you're establishing an anchor point that is your kind of home base that you return to. For some people, most people, this is observation of the breath, because it's something that's always with us. It's something that is moving and changing, so it captivates your interest a little more naturally than, say, just a point on a wall, which doesn't change. That's a more challenging form of meditation to focus on that. Some people like to have an image. We will be observing our thoughts and feelings as they flow through our brains and flow through our consciousness and our bodies. And so some people like to visualize they're standing at the side of a creek, and when a thought comes, they kind of offer it to a leaf that's flowing by on that creek and let it just flow on by and leave. Some people like to visualize a candle burning If you're in a place where you can actually light a candle and you'd like to have a candle lit while you're meditating, you can do that. But for some people, just the recollection of a candle burning is something that they visualize. Some people have a mantra or a prayer. Um, I'm I'm breathing in peace and I'm breathing out stress. And then it just gets shortened to peace and stress, or peace and surrender, or it may be a prayer that you associate with each breath. Some people count their breaths. So you may be just trying to devote your full awareness to your breath and counting up to 5 and then starting over. And if you get distracted and lose track, you just go right back to 1 and start again with no judgment. So that's another thing to do with your mind. Most people meditate with their eyes closed. They find it a little easier to do that. Some people are taught to meditate with their eyes open, usually a slightly downward gaze, maybe looking about 6 feet, 3 to 6 feet in front of you. Whatever is successful for you, and it may change over time. There's no one correct way to meditate. The best way to meditate is the way that you will stick with and that fits for your life and your being right now, and that may change over time. How often to meditate? I do strongly recommend aiming for every day and being forgiving with yourself if you miss a day. Just pick it right back up again and keep going. It's very important to work it into the routine of your day. People say, well, I don't know how I could possibly find 10 or 15 minutes every day. Well, there's certain things that we do every day, no matter what. I'm pretty sure we all brush our teeth at least once a day, every single day. And meditation can become so valuable to you that you want to do it every single day without missing. And if you build it into the structure of your day, it's more likely that you will actually get to it. For many people, that's first thing in the morning when their mind is the most clear and before the busyness of the day overtakes them. And so that can be a really constructive time to do it. For some people, right before bed, so that it helps them release the day and relax as they're getting ready to go to sleep. Whatever fits for you, but just have it be a part of your regular routine of your daily life. That will help ensure that you actually do continue to practice. How long should I meditate? Is another common question. And you can start with as little as 5 minutes or 3 minutes just to practice and see what it feels like. Ultimately, you're probably going to want to do at least 15 or 20 minutes a day. Some people like to meditate morning and night, adding up to about 45 minutes total. That's a good goal to have. If you're able to get there, I think that would be a great benefit to you. What if I fall asleep is another common question. Maybe examine what time of day you're meditating. If it's right after you eat, you're more likely to be sleepy. For many people, right before bed, you're more likely to be sleepy. So perhaps first thing in the morning could be the most constructive. We all have different rhythms to our days. So just examine when and where and how you're starting your meditation. And also whether you're just a little too comfortable in your chair. Perhaps you want to be holding yourself a little bit more upright to try to stay awake more. But if you fall asleep, it's not the end of the world. You'll try again another day. It's not a problem. There's many different ways to meditate with other people. There are apps on your phone that you can download that you can meditate along with other people. I have a guided meditation on this same YouTube channel, Vista Del Monte's channel, that you can listen to if you'd like to be talked through the whole time that you're meditating. Most often for mindfulness meditation, people like to have some introduction, a period of silence, and then a little bit more guidance at the end. So you can find free mindfulness meditation recordings on YouTube or many other websites. And you can purchase CDs that will talk you through meditating. So there's plenty of ways to gain access to it. If you're able to physically gather with people and meditate in the same room, many of us find there's just a really good constructive energy that happens when we do that together. Just like a group of people, one may pray alone, but when one is in a room praying with other people, there's a heightened energy. It seems to be more than the sum of its parts. So if you're able to meditate with other people, even at the same time across a distance through technology, that can be very constructive. So when we're meditating, we are developing skills. And there's skills that we want to use in the rest of our life. The point is not just to become a great meditator. The point is to have a good life and to have strong, robust well-being. You might think of it like physical fitness program. A physical fitness program, the point is not just to be really good at those exercises, but if you're strengthening your arms, for example, the point is that you want to be able to pick up groceries or help your neighbor with a package or be able to lift yourself out of a chair readily so that you can live your life and take advantage of that strength. And similarly with mindfulness meditation, we're trying to develop skills that we can use in the rest of our life. So I'd like to just kind of run through some examples of what those skills are. I'd like to highlight 3 skills that you will gain through mindfulness meditation. One is the skill of showing up with a stance of curiosity rather than judgment. And, as Woody Allen is famous for having said, 80% of success is showing up. And I certainly second that. The stance of curiosity allows for the possibility of surprise, of discovery, of learning something new. And that's very different from being in a stance of judgment or criticism. We have plenty of time in our life that we spend judging things to be good or bad, desirable or undesirable. And we need that skill to get along in the world and to be safe. But when we're meditating, we're practicing being in a more open, non-judgmental place of curiosity where we might discover something new. A second skill of mindfulness meditation is that of noticing rather than attempting to control. And notice that I said attempting to control because it's human nature to want to be in control and to control so much about our lives that is truly out of our control. And it's a source of great frustration. So what we're practicing is noticing how little control we actually have and just being with that uncertainty and gaining comfort with that uncertainty. There's uncertainty about my financial future, about my health in the future, about the actions of others and how they will affect my life. And that's part of being grown up, is acknowledging that that is true. And when we meditate, we're practicing being in a position of surrender to that and being at peace with that. So that can help us have a better life when you're not meditating as well. We're noticing what's going on inside of ourselves, inside your own body, your heart, your mind. And rather than trying to direct or control them, to force them into, must be peaceful, this must be a peaceful meditation, just noticing and observing and not trying to control. That is a very important skill. Let that be what you practice when you're meditating. And finally, when we're meditating, we're practicing being fully present in the current moment. And that's actually a really big one. We spend a lot of our lives so distracted. When was the last time that you walked into a room to get something and then you get there and say, what was it I was here for? Or did I take my medicine this morning? Or was that yesterday morning? I don't remember because I was kind of in autopilot when I was taking the medication. We miss a lot of our life by being not mindful. And in fact, this moment, this present moment is the only moment in which we can embrace our loved ones, in which we can experience joy, in which we can learn new things. And so let us not miss this present moment. Mindfulness meditation is a very good way to practice being fully present. And of course, it's easier to do when you're seated in a relatively quiet place, you've set aside time to do it. But again, just like physical fitness practice, you build that muscle, you strengthen that ability. And then you can, even when you're not seated to meditate, you can take that mindfulness into your relationships and be more present to the people that you care about. Be more present to what's going on within you when you're interacting with other people, and in that way be more fully engaged in your life. So those are all benefits of meditation. You know, there is a short poem that is attributed to the 5th century poet and playwright Kalidas that captures this very well. It's called The Salutation to the Dawn. And it's often spoken at the beginning of each day. So I would like to share that with you. Look to this day, for it is life, the very life of life. In its brief course lie all the verities and realities of our existence, the bliss of growth, the glory of action, the splendor of beauty. For yesterday is but a dream, and tomorrow is only a vision. But today well spent makes every yesterday a dream of happiness, and every tomorrow a vision of hope. Look well, therefore, to this day. Such is the salutation to the dawn. So imagine if you started each day with that poem, with that intention, with that thought, how much better each day would be. And if you started each day with some meditation, I think it really can improve your well-being. And that's really all that this is about. So I hope that I've answered some of your questions about how to begin meditating. Look for another video on this channel that has the word practice in the title, Practicing Mindfulness Meditation. And I hope that this helps you to get started and to approach yourself and your life with more curiosity and less judgment, more authenticity, and being fully present. And most importantly, just experiment with meditation a little bit. Have fun. You'll soon know if it's something that suits you and something that you want to build into your daily life. There are many different forms of meditation. Some involve being in motion, walking meditation. For some people, it's simply being in nature. So if mindfulness doesn't suit you, that's okay. But it is worth giving it a try. Thank you for being with us today. And until the next time, be well in all ways.